Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Evidence. This is the channel where justice matters. My name is Marv. I am a true crime fanatic, and I love to dig deeper into the mysteries of unsolved cases. Join me as we search for missing persons, uncover the clues in unsolved murders, follow along with jury trials, and we'll be a voice for the voiceless. I'll share with you the facts, the theories, the clues, the evidence, and the controversies that surround these cases. This is Beyond the Evidence. Hello, everyone. How are you this evening? I got out of court early, so I'm doing the live stream a little bit earlier than planned. Hey, Sterling, how you doing? Andrea, Fight for Justice. All those that are watching that don't chat, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So we had day 2 of jury selection today. Hi, Linda. How are you? I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I feel like I have ran on the Stepmaster for an hour or two with all the flights of stairs that we walked up and down today at the courthouse. So bear with me if I fidget and move around some tonight because the hips and the buttocks are sore. All right, let's get into it. Day 2 of jury selection in the Delphi Murders Case against Richard Allen is in the books. And today, Richard was wearing a bluish teal button-down shirt. One of the ladies described it as robin egg blue. It's hard to tell with the lighting in there, but we're going with bluish teal. He sat there with his glasses up on his head. And he did a lot of staring off today, more so than yesterday. When you watch him and you look at him, he's just looking at everything in the room, not really paying attention. It's a stare off into space, and the room is beautiful. The courthouse is beautiful. There's so many colors and different things in there, but it's like he's looking at them, but he's not looking at them. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of that today. He was doing some more rocking in his chair today. For the first time today, we heard Richard Allen talk. And I mean, he talked. He was talking to his attorneys for several minutes today. So that was very interesting. Couldn't hear him really well, but heard him enough. And can't quite, because of the room and everything, and because his voice was low, you can't quite compare anything. But for the first time, he talked for several minutes today with his attorneys. So we are debunking the fact that his defense team doesn't want him to say anything because he said it today to him. We were advised right away this morning that juror 35, who was a man, was excused from jury duty, even though he had been put on the jury. Weren't given a reason why. And then another man, the professor, was excused. And I'm assuming that is because it's not an ideal situation for him to do the trial during the day and try to do his classes at night with a bailiff sitting there staring at him. And then juror number 12 from late yesterday, the very last juror to be put on the jury, was a female, and she was excused. And I'm assuming that is because she's a mother and her husband was going out of town to work, and it was going to be hard for her to find care for her son. So we thought we only needed one juror, or at the beginning of the day, we needed one actual juror and 4 alternates because we had lost the one woman and 2 men. So the stats went down to 7 women and 4 men that were on the jury panel at that time. The prosecution and the defense had a little debate about the term reasonable doubt. And Baldwin was asking that the prosecutor put the definition used into context for the jury members. Prosecutors said that the defense, Baldwin in particular, was trying to condition the jury by the way he was asking his questions on reasonable doubt. The pattern instructions are going to be incorporated into the jury instructions. So the legal definition of reasonable doubt. Now, Judge Gull did have a big conversation with them about conditioning the jury. The defense is asking if he's guilty. So he's asking the jurors if he is guilty, and he's saying that's not conditioning the jury. And Gull said she agreed with that, but that when he then asked the jury how they would vote, that is conditioning the jury. So he changed the way he was asking questions today. We were advised that we believe, now I don't know for sure, but we believe the prosecution put in a motion to throw out the sketches. We didn't get to hear anything about that today because jury selection took all day. So we'll hear more about that on Thursday when I go back to listen to the hearing for all of the motions that the defense and the prosecution has made now. Let's see. So we started with group 1. You posted that, Doc. Thank you, Andrea. I got to read it. We started with group 1 on day 2. 12 new potential jurors in the jury box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 men, 6 women. Juror number 1 has been a prior juror in the past. Juror number 28 had 3 businesses that he runs. Lollipop, if you have a question, if you can wait, today's notes are going to be shorter, and I'm going to do questions at the end. So if you guys can wait until after I'm done with the notes and then put your questions in, it'll be easier for me to find them. So juror number 28 was a male. He says he has 3 businesses. He would have a real hardship to find anybody to take over those businesses for a month while he was sequestered. Juror number 16 was a female. She had a young child, and she was very hesitant to be away from her child. Juror number 14 has seen media on the case in the past. Juror 30 and 48 didn't have any concerns, didn't have any responses to the judge's questions. They were both males. Juror number 35 or 39 was a male, and he was worried about loss of wages being sequestered, and he had formed a opinion, I guess is what they're calling it, formed an opinion on the case already. And he stated that he felt that Richard Allen was not guilty and that nothing would change his mind. Juror number 42 was a female. No concerns, no issues about sequestration or anything like that. Juror number 11 had seen media reports previously. Juror number 45 had a hardship. She was a caregiver and would not be able to find somebody to replace her taking care of her loved one. And that was a male. Juror number 32 was a female. She had a high-risk pregnancy and had multiple pregnancies coming up. Or not pregnancies, doctor visits coming up. So she was asking to be excused. Juror number 2 was a female. She had previously seen media and had law enforcement in her family, but she said none of that would distract her from only listening to the evidence. So some of the questions that the judge specifically asked him, and I only wrote down a few, there was a lot more than this, but one of the questions that she wanted to know from every single juror that was up there is if sequestration would cause a hardship for them. Do you know the lawyers or any of the witnesses? Do you know Richard Allen? Do you have any personal knowledge of the case? Have you read any information on the case in the media? Have you ever served as law enforcement, or do you have any relatives or friends that are in law enforcement? And there was a bunch more. Oh, have you ever been assaulted or anyone close to you been assaulted? They had to let her know that. I'm trying to think of what else. I can't think of it at the moment. Okay, so out of that group, juror number 1 was accepted, so she's a female. Juror number 30 was accepted, and he's a male. Juror number 11 was accepted, and that is a female. And juror number 12. Somehow I got, well, I bet you, it's supposed to, I think it's supposed to be juror number 2, but I'm not sure. Somehow I wrote down the wrong number. Okay. We tried really, really hard today for you to get you some names of the witness list. I can tell you that Becky Patty, Derek German, Kelsey German, Daniel Pearson, Anna Williams, somebody with the initials SM, SH, is that a JB or BU, Betsy Blair, Cheyenne, somebody with the initials of SC, CS, TL, JH, MO, BF, and BS. That's what I have. I know others like Rescue All the Dogs and some other ones got different names for the prosecution. We'll try to combine our lists if possible and get those out to you. The defense. Brad Holder, Dan Doolin. Now he's the conservation officer. Betsy Blair, Brad Holder, Elvis Fields, Amber Holder, Tony Klein. They are also calling Anna Williams, Matt Hoffman, Kay Allen, John Miller, Brad Heath, Brad Weber, Josh Moore, Josh Harrison, Jesse James, David Jones, and Richard Allen's daughter is on that list. But as I said, I know Rescue got some names I didn't and others did too. So that's just what I wrote down. We'll try to get a list for you guys. It was very, very difficult because as Rescue All the Dogs said, they read them very fast yesterday and today. So once again, Nick McClellan got to do his mini opening, 5 minutes. And he explained to the jurors that the girls are from Delphi. February 13th was day off and it was warm and they wanted to go to the trails. He explained to them that the Monon High Bridge is there and it's 60 feet, no rails, and goes across a train track. Common for the kids to go there. That BG, okay, so the girls, our girls, Abby and Libby, were followed by BG. He used a gun and forced them down the hill to have his way with them. He was interrupted, and when he was interrupted, he forced them across the creek and told them to take off their clothes. They were unalived, and he put the clothes back by the creek. The bullet came from RA's gun. There's statements placing him there and on the bridge. Evidence will show that he is BG. He has made confessions to wife and others that he unalived Abby and Libby and told people over and over. Nick says we will get details on why he did it and how he did it. Now, once again, the defense came through and said that R.A. Richard Allen confessed to shooting the girls in the back, but the evidence will show he lied. He falsely confessed and confessed incorrectly. And medical evidence will show that when he said he confessed that he aped them, you know what letter to add in front of it, and then buried them, the medical evidence will show that they weren't aped, and the other evidence will show that they weren't buried. Apparently, something new today was he had confessed that he unalived family and grandchildren. And these things are not true. He falsely confessed to this. Once again, they stated for months he was in prison. He said when you get arrested, you go to jail, not prison. He described Richard Allen's life beforehand as working at CVS, had a wife of 30 years, and was plucked out and put in prison. He said, we're going to see video of him in his cell. People watching his every move, even him going to the bathroom. And then he dropped a bombshell today. Baldwin said, and I can't remember exactly what he said, Rescue, maybe you can remember. He was naming off things they didn't have. And I think it was DNA and 3 other things. But he said what they did have was that there was a hair found in Abby's hand, and it was not Richard Allen's. He then attacked the bullet evidence and said that you can see with your own eyes that the bullet evidence doesn't match his gun and that R.A. is innocent. He then attacked the phone evidence from Libby's phone and said that evidence will help the jurors find Richard Allen innocent. Oops, I read the wrong group 1 from today. Okay, so group 1 from today, juror 52 was male and had issues with memories. Juror number 3 was male, owned his own businesses. Juror number 54 was male, had no concerns. Juror number 40 was a female. She had concerns with the sequestration because she had a 5-month-old. Juror number 36 was a male. He is the sole proprietor of a business, and this would bring financial hardship to him having to be sequestered. Juror number 10 was a male, no concerns. 24, juror number 24 was a female. And I can't read my note there. So we'll move on. Juror number 23 was a female, 2 small children, and she has ties to law enforcement. Juror number 25 was a female. She does performances on the piano. Um, and she did not know if they would be able to find somebody to replace her next week and the weeks after. Juror number 12 was a male. He's going out of the country for work. He's a pilot. And juror number 35 was a male, and he said there was health issues. Juror number 51 was a male, and he had ties to security and police. So they accepted juror number 10, who was a male. Second group, juror number 4 was a female. She's a parent, 3 small children. So she was worried about the sequestration, but said if she could find somebody to take care of her children, she could focus on the case if called to be on the jury. Juror number 6 was a male, no concerns about anything, didn't view any media, answered no to all of the judge's questions. Juror number 50 was a female. She was worried about sequestration. She takes care of her husband, who has MS, and she takes care of all of the home duties and responsibilities. And she had seen media on the case. Juror number 38, she let the judge know that there had been abuse with her and her sister. This one was, I don't know what the word is. So she participates in Facebook groups and listens to podcasts. She has listened to conversations due to being in those Facebook groups and listening to the podcasts. She has formed her own opinion, but she said that she could set that aside and just look at the evidence and make a decision. And she also had ties to law enforcement. She said she could set aside that and just look at the evidence. She also said that she had family members that worked with family of the girls. And she was worried because her daughter, who lives in Hawaii, is coming next week. And they were throwing her a baby shower, and she did not want to miss that. Juror number 18 was a male, no concerns, no knowledge. He was worried about the sequestration because he takes care of his wife, and he flat out said that he did not want to be a part of this jury. He was very adamant. Juror number 9 was female. She was the guardian for a child. Juror number 17 was a female. No concerns. Juror number 13 was a male. He has a management company, and he said that being away for that long and being sequestered would be a real hardship for his business, and that his business could possibly go under without him there. Juror number 22 was male. employed by the state. Wife was employed by DCS. He was a high school teacher, and he had seen coverage on the case. Juror number 33 was male. Family was very involved in this case by watching media. Formed opinion and could not set that opinion aside, even if the judge told them to and just to look at the evidence. We heard that from males. The females said that they could set it aside, but the males that said that they had formed an opinion, I would say 97% of them said that they would not change their mind. Juror 10 was a female. She had ties to LE and 5 children. She can't make arrangements for care for her 5 children, and she did have knowledge about the case. And they accepted number 9. So there was 3 rounds today. Sorry about that. So the first one I read was correct. So that is how we got to 11 women and 7 men on the jury. Now, what they did today is they actually did 5 alternates. And that is because we lost 3 of them from yesterday. That way, if somebody from today can't be an alternate, there is an extra one already. So that was today in a nutshell. We did not get to any motions, so we didn't have a hearing. So what's going to happen after we were dismissed? I had gone back and talked to Becky, and Nick had come up and was talking to her, and I just politely asked Nick, because I was getting misinformation from individuals, and we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. But tomorrow is an off day, and then Thursday they are going to swear in the jury, and then they are going to hear all of the motions on Thursday in Fort Wayne. So I will be going back to Fort Wayne to hear those motions and her decisions. So that is what happened today. As I said, Becky Patty and Tara German were there, and the Erskines were there again also, as far as family. Did not see anyone from Richard Allen's side of the family. From what I'm being told, Chris, is that there is not a lot to show on the recording. Basically, the way I was explained, it was explained to me, is that Libby was kind of doing this, moving her phone up and down, and she just happened to bring it up at the right time and got his picture, and there's not much after that. So we'll see if that's true or not, because I'm sure they're going to play that at the trial. Ugh, you're aggravated about the mystery hair in Abby's hand. I think the defense likes to play these games. Who knows? It could have been Abby's hair. Could have been Libby's hair that was on the clothes. Who knows? But we'll find out once the trial gets going and they go through that part. Let's see. So now if you want to put your questions in the chat, go for it. I'm going through. I bet you it's been a hot topic in the groups. And I bet you that the news ran with that right away when we got our 15-minute break today. I actually encountered someone that has never heard about the case today. I was shocked because I thought everybody has heard about it. No, you would be amazed. I tried to write down in the juries or for the jurors who's heard it and who hasn't. So, number 9 today was accepted in the last round. She said she did not mention at all that she has heard anything about this case. Number 10 was accepted. Never mentioned hearing anything about this case. And that was one of the things that Judge Gull specifically wanted them to answer. So that's 2 right there. Number 1 from the first group, female, never mentioned hearing anything about the case. Juror number 30, male, never mentioned anything about hearing about the case. Jury member number 11 had heard about the case. Juror number 12 had heard about the case. So, and that was just from today. Yesterday, that one got released. Yesterday, juror number 16 in the group was a male, no concerns, meaning when they say no concerns, that means they stated they have not heard about the case. And I don't have too good of notes. It was a learning opportunity for the first couple rounds, so I don't have those specifics on the first couple rounds from yesterday. So yeah, there are jurors on this jury that have made it on the jury that says that they have not heard about the case. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Yes, the hair could have already been on the clothing or on RA. Let's see. Hey, Frank Meister, how you doing? I think it's a good idea to sequester the jury. This is a big, high-profile case, not just in the United States. It's around the entire planet, the entire world. And because it's so high profile, I think it's a good idea that they sequester them. Hey Jill, how you doing? Purple Haze. A lot of people agree that they should be sequestered from the comments here. Loved meeting everybody at the walk. Absolutely. So yes, now they're done with jurors. Like I said, instead of having 16, we've got 12 regular jurors, and we were supposed to have 4 alternates. So instead, we've got 12 regular jurors and 5 alternates. And that's important because just yesterday alone, we lost 3. Really? I haven't seen that. I haven't been able to watch anything yet. Tonight and tomorrow, I'll watch stuff. That's wild how the men would not change their opinion about the case. I agree because I had put it in Discord that it was 11 women, 7 men, and they said, "Boy, that's kind of lopsided." And I explained it. The men did not want to be on that jury. A lot of them didn't. So 11 women, 7 men. No, Mark. According to Baldwin, there was a hair found in Abby's hand, and it does not belong to Richard Allen. I don't know why people are saying it doesn't match his DNA. I don't know. All we were told in his exact words today were a hair was found in Abby's hand, and it was not Richard Allen's. That's all he said. Oh, yeah, they can DNA test it. Linda, like I said, yesterday, Richard Allen was kind of just looking around, staring off in the morning, but in the afternoon, he really snapped out of it and was talking to his attorneys. Now, how it went is, like you said, for those of you that didn't see this last night, the prosecution got 30 minutes to ask the jurors questions. The defense got 30 minutes. And then I believe they got 30 minutes to confer with their teams and then go up to the judge and say who they wanted to strike or whatever. Well, when they conferred, it was Rozzy, Baldwin, Auger, and Richard Allen. In the afternoon, he was actually talking to them about or they were talking to him about the jurors and who they were going to pick and everything. They included him in that yesterday and today. Today, what I noticed is he wasn't as focused on that. He did a lot of staring off and looking at different things today in the courtroom. But as I said earlier, today is the first day that we heard Richard Allen speak, and for several minutes. He was specifically talking to Baldwin and answering questions and giving details and stuff. So, well, we don't know whose hair it is. If you believe Baldwin, he says it's not Richard Allen's hair. So, I think it's the defense just trying to stir things up with the hair. Could be. Sterling, thank you so much. Let's support Marv, y'all. I'm sure she has a lot of travel expenses. Yes, I do. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's going towards gas and food. Probably gas. Hey Necessary Evil, how you doing? I'm confused. The defense can't talk about third-party suspects, but they can call Westfall, Holder, and Elvis. How's that going to play out? Okay. There's a motion for the motion to limine again that they're going to hear on Thursday. They're trying to get all this evidence in again. I'm sure Judge Gull is going to deny it because they don't have any evidence. They don't have a nexus showing that these individuals were at the scene. Okay? So what's going to happen is when these witnesses come up, the jury is going to leave the courtroom. And their testimony is only going to be put on the record. And the only reason they're doing that is for an appeal purposes. So when Westfall, Holder, Elvis, and Keegan Kline, Tony Klein, Click, who else was in there? There was a couple other ones in there. When they come up to testify, it will be outside of the presence of the jury. The jury will not be in the courtroom. It'll be the attorneys questioning them on the stand. It's all getting recorded for the record for an appeal. Does that make sense? Marv, do the selected jurors get to go home or yes, they got to go home tomorrow. Between tonight and tomorrow, they get to prepare. They have to report back to the courthouse at 9 a.m. on Thursday. They're going to get sworn in, and then they'll be brought to the location where the hotel is and sequestered from that moment. From the time they hit the courthouse, they basically are sequestered because bailiffs will be with them at every moment 24/7 after that until this trial is over. Dorothy says, "You're doing a great job. Thanks for keeping us informed." You're welcome. It's the whole reason I'm here. Nana, thank you so much. Marv, for all your work and travel. Thank you so much. Miracle Hearts 2. I mean, do they go home for a day or two and they turn over phones and go into... Yes. But they've already gone under an oath. So under the oath that they are in right now, they cannot view any social media or talk to anybody about this case. All they can say, according to the judge, is, "I have been chosen to be on a jury for a case. Please do not ask me any questions." Purple Haze says, "Thanks for all you do, Marv." Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. She says, "I appreciate Marv's hard work." Thank you so much. Okay, we got too many men and women. 11 plus 7 equals. Oh, it's 11 and 6. Sorry. Yeah, it's 11 women, 6 men. Because there's 17 total. I watched Russ McQuaid before I came on here, and I could have sworn he said it belonged to RA. I'll have to go watch again. Yep. Nope. He specifically said it did not. Do you think there could be a second suspect since the hair doesn't match? No, not necessarily. I mean, there's 3 options, really. 4 options. It's RA's hair, and the defense is lying. It's Abby's hair. Okay, there's 5 options. It's Abby's hair. It's Libby's hair. It's transfer hair. So it's 4. Because I'm going to include transfer hair from Kelsey or someone that had contact with Richard Allen. And they just have not found a match. Teresa says, my opinion, there was more involved. I'll talk about that in a minute. Kathleen says, you'd be surprised how many YouTube creators believe Baldwin and the Odinism theory. It's not just YouTube creators, but I can believe how many. There was a juror today that said he had formulated an opinion and that he would say not guilty and he would not change his mind even after listening to the evidence. You're having a brain overload. You're allowed to. Lord knows I am. I think it was fair. I was shocked on how fast certain people jumped on the Odinism nonsense. Oh, I agree. They have been on a gag order, Mark, this whole time. The way that they've gotten around the gag order is through their motions and through this talking to the jurors. Now, I don't know if he slipped and said that. If he was supposed to say that, I don't know, but he did say it. Keegan Kline is involved in the murder of these 2 young girls. Well, police have said that Keegan Kline does not have any direct involvement in the murder of these 2 girls. There's no evidence of him having any involvement. But here's what I want to say to all of you. There is going to be another investigation after this is done. And if you remember, law enforcement said, due to this is the biggest CSAM case they have ever uncovered. And while they have been going after some individuals in other states and some in Indiana, this is going to explode after this case is over. And anybody who was directly involved in this CSAM case in Indiana better watch out. That's my theory. Sounds to me like all of them that made it on the jury will listen to the evidence. Roxy, what do you mean? Who is Richard Allen for? Yeah, there was no chance of that guy making it on the jury after that. The one juror who said he wouldn't change his mind about not guilty, they're going to let him be on the jury? No, he was excused. Keegan, I think, knows more than he's willing to tell. Well, his credibility with the police is shot. He has lied to them so many times and pointed them in directions that didn't lead to anything. Has the prosecution already talked about the hair? No, they have not. How can the defense talk about the evidence if it hasn't been brought out in court? This is just the way the defense does things. They can't go out and talk to the public themselves by doing an interview or any of that. So the way that they're releasing things and trying to condition the jury is by saying stuff like this. Roxy, his daughter, his wife, and his mother are supposed to testify for the defense. So I hope that helped. I can tell you that, there's been talk out there about Judge Gull and not liking YouTubers. Well, it's not just YouTubers. I think it's all media right now, whether it's national media, local media, or YouTubers, because one of the reporters for a news channel thought that everything was over and stood up, and in a gruff voice, she says, "We are still trying to work up here." And he sat down and everybody quieted down again. And um, yeah. So I don't think it's just YouTubers. I think it's all media right now that she hates. All right, just making sure I did not miss any questions. Well, and that's why necessary I said that it could be transfer hair. Because the fact that, you know, she was wearing Kelsey's sweatshirt, anything is possible. But they can mention it in court under a gag order. I guess so. Hadn't had time to be mentioned by the prosecution. No, I don't think the prosecution wanted it mentioned. No, they did not break gag order if they said it in court. Baldwin is not, he's actually not a bully. But he is very passionate on the fact that he believes Richard Allen is innocent. And he's going to do anything and everything he can to try to prove that. That was said in a hearing, not jury selection, but in a past hearing, it was said that he did fantasize about that. But we haven't heard anything on that since then. Yeah, just like it could have been his own family's hair that was left on his jacket, and in the tussle got transferred and somehow ended up in Abby's hand. Yeah, I mean, he's very soft and gentle, you know, but he's very passionate in the way that he speaks. And um his message comes through clear that he truly believes that his client is innocent. He is very touchy-feely with Richard Allen when he's talking to him. And I'm talking about Baldwin. Placing his hand on his shoulder, or on his arm. You can tell that Baldwin and Richard Allen are very close and have a good relationship. Now, Rozzy goes and talks to him, but Rozzy is more, he'll bend down or kneel down, be in front of him, say what he needs to say, and then he leaves. I'll give Gull credit. She has no nonsense and tough. She's not a quitter. After all she's been through with this case. Judge Diener quit right out of the gate. Yeah. And I can only imagine, thinking about it, look at what the YouTubers are going through. I mean, I sat and I got to talk to some of the national news people the past 2 days and explain to them that I'm getting death threats. Or I'm getting threats that I'm going to have an injunction filed against me to stop me from broadcasting on YouTube. And they were just astonished by that. So they themselves have a hard time. Sometimes they told me sometimes they have to go out by themselves and they're getting mugged and robbed and everything else. So they try to go in groups of 2 now, but it still happens. It's part of what this world has come to right now. I believe we are in a big battle, an earthly battle between good and evil. That's the only way I can describe it with everything going on. And it's a shame because I remember how things were after 9/11 and it was so different. And ever since then, things have just been going downhill and it gets worse and worse every day. There's so much division and hate and evil going on in the world today. It's not even funny. It does right now. I agree with you, Miracle Hearts. It does. But I am a firm believer that if you are an individual, and I try to do this, I don't do it every day, but if you are the type of individual that tries to make somebody's day better by just asking them how they're doing, if they need anything, love and light will always shine brighter than evil. And we just have to bring the balance back. Yes, light always outweighs the dark. Let's see here. Hi, chat. I just got here, but reading some comments. Someone admitted they would vote not guilty no matter what. Yes. He's the only one that shared that he would vote how he would vote if he was on the jury, and said it doesn't matter what evidence he heard, he would not change his opinion and that he would vote not guilty. But we know that there's people out there like that. Oh, Kathy, that's great. You sew children's clothes for charity. Absolutely. That is a great way to show love and light and bring some good back into the world. Purple Haze says, my feeling exactly, Marv. Marv, what will you do if RA is found not guilty? Will you accept that verdict? Continue to investigate? It's hard for someone like me to investigate it. And I've learned that from the Tabitha Shuck Rains case. And Mark can attest to this. We are having so much difficulty getting documents and information that we need. We can try and try and try. I will keep pounding my head against the wall trying to get these. Eventually one day they'll give them to me, but it's really hard. It really is. So, in all reality, I'll never see everything that the police have on the Delphi case. So it would almost be impossible for us to continue investigating it. Because all you're going to have is rumors, theories, and that's it. Love to Hunt says, I love Judge Gull. She's stern and knew she needed to use her sternness against the shenanigans. Absolutely. Mark says, I've seen this happen in Tabitha's case. Multiple people had their lives threatened during Tabitha's murder case the first year, and we had this info, and LE of Tipton and Tipton County didn't help. Right. They got no eyewitness to the murders, no DNA, no murder weapon, no motive, and potentially a third party's hair on the victim. You think he's going to walk? Yesterday, I will not lie to you guys, I felt defeated and today was a little bit better, but when Nick McClelland said this is about three things: BG, a bullet, and the girls. And people had to remind me that he's not going to give his whole case in 5 minutes. And he's just going to give the jury the bare minimum. So we have to be patient and wait and see what comes out of opening statements. Opening statements on Friday from the prosecutor is going to tell us a lot. Because he's going to outline his case for that jury and give more detail. So, if you're having doubts, just remember that after Friday, we'll know a lot more. I'm hoping we know what he has and what he doesn't have. Because in all the opening statements I've seen from a prosecutor, they do a general overview of the case and the evidence they have against the defendant. And those can take an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours for the prosecutor's opening statement. So I've seen some go 3 or 4. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it could all be part of his strategy. You know, we don't know for sure, but we'll find out. I truly believe Friday will give us a better understanding of what they have. When Nick McClelland does his thing, I hope he comes out strong and it's heard around the world. Yes, I hope so too. But I told you guys that while I'm here, I'm going to do everything I can to get in that courtroom every single day. And while I'm here, I will shoot straight with you. I will tell you like it is. If I think they don't have enough evidence, I will tell you. Oh, Sterling, gotta love ya. We'll find out. Nobody truly knows how many seats are available Friday. We have no idea. I do know that Becky Patty's side of the family gets 5 seats. Anna Williams' side of the family gets 5 seats. Carrie Timmons' side of the family gets 5 seats. Richard Allen's side of the family gets 5 seats. So that's 20. Plus, I heard there's going to be a lottery, is what I heard, of between 7 and 10 seats that goes to media, national media, credentialed media. And then the rest will be open to the public. And Brandon, that's your right to think that. You have every right to think that. We'll find out what the evidence is against him, that the prosecution has. Yes, that's exactly what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for opening statements. Absolutely. 100%. I've heard enough opening statements watching all these trials to know whether I'm going to feel good about the prosecution's case or I'm going to feel bad about it. So Friday will tell all. I'll tell you, yay or nay. Oops. They didn't go integrate any of them about us accusing them. We also was threatened on. Ah, okay. I did feel really good about the jurors chosen. I said this before the jury selection happened. I at least want one individual on the jury that has not heard about this case. And now we have at least 4 or 5, if not more. There's a good mixture of those that have, those that haven't. So, boy, would I love to be a fly on the wall in that deliberation room. I really would. Justice for Flight or Fight for Justice says, "You're great, Marv. After the juror's decision on RA, there will be another avenue of investigation, but you meant interrogate, and it may or may not include RA." Yeah. Well, if you feed into everything and think that everything the defense has told us about the case is the absolute truth, you are going to say he's not guilty. But you're right. And that's what I keep saying. The state hasn't told us anything. Well, I can't say anything. They told us a few small things here and there. But we need to hear exactly what they have. This morning I woke up at 4 and I was on the road by 5 and I got to the courthouse at a little after 7. Yeah, I guess that live on Friday will tell you what I think, huh? If I'm in a good mood, you know it's good news. If I'm not in a good mood, you know it's not good. I'm going to do everything I can. Oh, Brandon, be nice. Show the light and love, not hate. Good night, Brandon. Have a good dinner. Hope your food is very yummy. um in Fort Wayne, yeah. I mean, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. We had about 25 seats. And then in the very back there's a section just for the family, and um Abby's grandma and grandpa were there, and then today Becky and Tara were there, and there was a couple other people sitting back there. I'm not sure who they were. Good evening, Mark. Friday is near. Yes. Uh Negative. um if you come at 7 a.m., I can probably guarantee you're not going to get a spot. Yes, for the general public, seats are first come. If Richard Allen is guilty, God is going to make him pay for what he did. And we got to remember that, you know, um, even in Tabitha's case, as much as we want justice here on earth, whoever did that to Tabby will pay in the afterlife. And while that might bring a very itsy bitsy piece of comfort, all of us want to see justice here on earth also. Oh, they don't know anything yet, Mark. The Casey Anthony, oh, that was a bad. Jury had me wanting to do away with the juror process and allow the judge to make the decision. I no longer feel that way, but the jury really got it wrong, in my opinion. And they do. They do. Casey Anthony, O.J. Simpson, Jodi Arias, because I truly feel that she should have gotten the death penalty. And I myself, in my opinion, I feel that the Mendez brothers should have gotten manslaughter and the chance to serve their time and be released. I don't know how others feel about that, but that is how I feel. Not very long at all. Hey Randy, how you doing? I don't know. No, nobody will know till we get there. I know. Yeah. Well, I can't. I thought about calling it the trial of the century, but as big as Delphi is, Idaho 4 is going to be bigger. So I don't think we can call it that. I don't know. Oh, believe me, I am. Gail says, I firmly believe that we don't get away with our misdeeds. I agree. Andrea says Marv is well protected and hidden. Unless I go to the grocery store. Do you know if the families of Libby and Abby think RA is innocent or guilty or waiting to hear the case out? I can tell you that I think they believe he's guilty. But like all of us, everybody gets their first formulated opinion on a case. But once you hear the evidence and see everything for yourself, that is when you make your final judgment. There'll be frozen campers and everyone else can just walk on by them. Now that you mentioned Pat Brown, I can't remember if he was on the witness list or not. Miracle Heart said, I thought so too on the Mendez brothers. Yep. Well, they're trying to get they're trying to get resentenced due to new evidence. Do you think the M brothers had access to money even without parents' inheritance money? Yes, but not as much as they did afterwards. Um, and they have proof now that shows that one of the boys wrote his cousin months before this happened, before they murdered their parents, and that he was telling the cousin about the abuse. And then you have another individual from a band that the father worked with stating that the father had abused him also. Now, I'm not saying that the Mendez brothers are innocent. Absolutely not. But I am saying that I believe because of the abuse that they should have gotten a manslaughter charge. And a manslaughter charge would mean, since they have served 34 years, they should be eligible for parole. And then it's up to the parole board to determine whether they've been rehabilitated and should be let out. But in the end, two individuals, their parents, lost their lives at the hands of these boys, now men. And that's not right. Yeah, at the grocery store, I'm protected. You always protect me, and I love you for it. Yes. You have a mirror just like the one in my background? I haven't got to see the documentary yet because I don't have Netflix. You're counting down for the Idaho 4? It was. Why isn't my mouse working? We'll have to, once Delphi's over, we'll dive into the Mendez brothers case here on this channel. So, all right, everybody. I've been on hour and a half. I'm going to go because I have to go watch all the Delphi footage from the news and stuff today. And for 2 days, I've been only focused on Delphi. I need to go and look at the updates on the Sarah Boone trial and the Leilani Simon trial for Quentin. And I'm going to try to get some quick pre-recorded videos out to all of you tomorrow on those two cases. so that we can try to keep up with them. We'll see. But even if I do a 15-20 minute video on each one, just to give you an update, because they're both in their trial phase also, at least we'll have some information out there and can kind of keep up on those two cases together. So thank you so much once again to Sterling, Nana73, and Purple Haze for the donations. I appreciate it. That's going to help with gas and definitely food. So I really appreciate it. All right, everybody. I will be back live Thursday night for sure with an update on all of the hearings for the motions from the prosecution and the defense. I'm hoping so. We'll see. All right, everybody. Show some light and love to the world. Make it a better place. Make somebody's day by just asking them how they are. If you can do anything to help them, try to balance out good versus evil. And have a great night. Remember, justice does matter for each and every victim. Thank you. Have a good night. Mwah! Thank you for watching Beyond the Evidence. Today, I gave you my own opinions and analysis, but I always encourage you to do your own research and form your own conclusions. If you're interested in true crime and want to join me on this journey of discovery, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you'd like to support the channel, join our membership, and if you have any suggestions for cases that you want me to cover, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and remember, justice matters. This is Beyond the Evidence, and I'll see you in the next video.